We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph Meseches Shabbos. This is Shabbos, Daf 32a. The Gemara was just discussing why it is that women die during childbirth if they neglect the mitzvahs of Nida, Chala, and Hadlakas Haner. The Gemara just explained Nida. Now we move on to Chala. The Gemara says, Reishis Karasi Eschem, I have called you, Klal Yisrael, you're called Reishis. Al Iske Reishis, his heart Eschem. Therefore I command you regarding something else which is called Reishis, which of course refers to the mitzvah of Chala. And then the Gemara says, Neshama Shenasati V'chem Kruya Ner. The Neshama which I gave to you, that's called a Ner. Al Iske Ner, his heart Eschem. Therefore I'm commanding you regarding the mitzvah of Ner, meaning the mitzvah of Neiros Shabbos. And the Gemara continues, Imatem mekayimim osam mutav. If you keep these, then it's very good. V'imalav, and if not, hareini notel nishmaschem, then I will take away your soul. Umayishna b'shas leidasan. So the Gemara asks, okay, we understand that they don't fulfill these three mitzvahs, that it affects them, that they die, but why do they die specifically at childbirth? Amar Rava says we're now going to see a number of answers to this question, and we will need to take a look at Rashi to explain all of these. These are all different parables that people used to say, common sayings of people. So Amar Rava says, Nafal Tura Chadad L'Sakina. The first one means that when the ox falls down, that's when you want to sharpen the knife. Rashi says over here, Nafal Tura La'aretz, when the ox falls down to the ground, Shu Omid L'Shchita, it's getting ready to be shechted, Hakol Omrim Chadad L'Sakin. Everyone says, people commonly say, sharpen the knife. Ad shelo yakum v'yetorach la'ashlichu. Before the animal gets up, it's going to be difficult to slaughter it. Kach hoel v'isra mazola mizumenes puranuso lavo. So to a woman, when she's giving birth, that's when her mazel is bad. That's when the punishment comes quickly. And all of these sayings are essentially going to be along those same lines. Abaya says, Tafis tiras amsa bechad mechtarta lahave. Rashi explains this one. Tafis tiras amsa means tirbe peshoyim hashivcha. When the shivcha has a lot of sins, v'kulan tilka bechavata achas. You take care of all of them in one shot. And Rashi says, Kolomar, as if to say, Isha omedes li yisurei leida al onsha shel chava umitzarfin lo onshan harbe lo so malchus. A woman already, why does she have yisurei leida? Why are there pains when she's giving birth? Because of the onish of chava. And then if there's other punishments that she is deserving of, that's when they apply to her. Gemara now gives another suggestion. Rav Chisda says, Shavke l'ravya d'minafshe nafel. Means leave the person who's a drunk, he's going to fall on his own. Again, Rashi says, Shavke l'ravya l'shikr, somebody who's a shikr. Ein chatzarech la'pila, you don't need to push him down. Shu yipol me'elav, he's going to fall on his own. Kacha isha, the same thing with the woman omedes leiled, when she's about to give birth. Mishenes abra v'yitzricha levakesh la'kadosh baruch hu liftoch rachma, she's davening that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should open her womb, v'hu nimne v'imesa me'ela, so he won't do it, she'll die on her own. Kol hani mashal hedyanin. These are all folklore common sayings that we're applying to this situation. Gemara continues with another one. Mar Ukva says, Raya chigra v'ize rihatan, abav chutra mili v'abe dari chushbana. Rashi here explains, Raya chigra v'ize rihitan, kalim loritz. When you have a shepherd who's not able to walk properly, he's handicapped, and then the animals, the goats are rihitan, they run a lot. Ve'enu yachal hagin, he can't reach them. Ulal kosan al serchon, he can't beat them for whatever they're doing wrong. When does the shepherd take care of it? The shepherd takes care of it when they're in the pen. And then Rashi explains, Kolomar, as if to say, when the woman is healthy, so she has certain zechuyos, and the mekatrig, the prosecutor, cannot mention her sins. When she reaches the door of sakana, she needs miracles, that's where we mention her sins. And her deeds, is she fit to be saved with a miracle or not? Gemara now gives another saying. Rav Papa says, Abav chenvosa nefishi achi, umerachmi, Abav bezione lo achi v'lo merachmi, v'gavri v'lo merachmi, period. Rashi explains this one. What does it mean? Abav chenvosa nefishi achi merachmi essentially means at the door of the storekeeper, there's many brothers, there's a lot of brotherhood, and people have rachmonis. Rashi explains, lepesach hachanus shemechalkem b'mazonos, when you get to a store where they distribute food, v'yesham osher harbe, there's a lot of wealth, achim v'harbe ohavim yesh, there's a lot of brethren, there's a lot of brotherhood, hakol nasim ohavim, everybody becomes friends. Merachim is ohavim, people who love one another. But abav bezionim, b'makom sheyesh hefsid v'oni, in places of poverty, lo achi v'lo merachim, you have no mercy, you have no brotherhood. Kach b'shas ha'sakana hura mazola, that's what happens in the shas ha'sakana, her mazel is bad, v'chashivusa, and her chashivus is bad, v'chadlu praklit inshallah, so you no longer have anybody to defend her, and that's why, again, the woman, when she's giving birth, when she's having children, at that point, that's when she's the most susceptible to the punishments for these sins. Gemara now continues. V'gavri hecha mivdiki. What about men? When are men checked? We have all these different sayings that we're applying to women. What would be true of men in the same situation? Reish Lakish says b'shosha over mal hagesher. Men, when they are crossing over the bridge, it's a dangerous situation. That's when they can be punished for their sins. The Gemara says gesher v'sulo. That's the one example. There's nothing else. Eimo ke'ein gesher means anything like a gesher, anything in a dangerous situation. That's what that means. Rav lo avar b'mavra d'yosef be'akum. Gemara says that Rav would never cross in a ferry where there was a non-Jew, an idol worshiper that was on that ferry. Amar, he said, Dilma mifkid le'edina aleh. Maybe he'll have some kind of justice done against him. Umitafisna b'hadei, and I'm going to be taken along with him. So he was essentially afraid if he's going to go with other sinners on this boat, he might be punished along with them when the boat sinks. Shmuel lo avar elabim avridis be'akum. Now Shmuel had the exact opposite approach. From Rav. Shmuel only went in a ferry that had idol worshippers in it. Amar, he said, Sitana betray ume lo shalet. The Satan does not attack two different nations. So, if he's going with somebody who's a non-Jew, he won't be attacked along with two different nations on the boat. Nothing to worry about. Rabbi Yana bodik v'avar. Now, Rabbi Yana used to just inspect the boat, and only then he would go on. Rabbi Yana latame. Rabbi Yana follows his reasoning. Do Amar, he says, Liolam al yamod adam b'makom sakana. A person should never be in a place of danger. Lomar she'osan lo nes. To say that they're going to do a miracle for him, Shema ein osin lo nes, maybe they won't. V'im osin lo nes, menachin lo mizichu yosef. And if they do, it's just going to be deducted from his zechuyos, from his merits. Amar Rav Chanin says, my crow, what is the pasuk that tells us that a person's merits are taken away when they have miracles that save them? The Gemara here quotes a pasuk which Yaakov Avinu said, Katonti mikol hachasad mikol emes. I have become small from all of the chesed and the emes that was done to me. The idea is that his zechuyos have been, we've deducted from his zechuyos because of all the miracles that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did for him. Rabbi Zeira biyom deshusa lo nafek leveinei dikla. Similar story. Rabbi Zeira, on a day when it was a very windy day, he wouldn't go amongst the palm trees. Again, it was dangerous that they would fall down. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak Breder Rav Yehuda. Rabbi Yitzchak Breder Rav Yehuda says, Leolam yevakesh adam rachamim shelo yechla. A person should always daven that he shouldn't get sick. Shem yechla, because if he does get sick, omrim lo have zechus v'pater. They're going to tell him you need to bring merits in order to be pater. Amar Marukva says, Ma'ikra, what's the pasuk that indicates this? Ki'ipol hanofel mimenu. This is talking about somebody who falls off a roof. There's a mitzvah to make a fence around a person's roof. So it says that the person is going to fall off. So the Gemara darshans, Marukva darshans, mimenu lahaviraya. This person who's in a dangerous situation, he needs to bring proof. Once you put yourself in a dangerous situation, you need to bring the evidence in order to save yourself. Tana Devei Rabbi Shmuel, they taught in the yeshiva of Rabbi Shmuel, Ki'ipol hanofel mimenu. It says the faller will fall. What does that mean? It means whoever's falling off this roof, it was declared already in the Sheishes Mebereshis. It wasn't simply because of the dangerous situation. This was a gezeira against him. Sharei lo nafel, because he hasn't yet fallen. V'akasav kara nofel. Pasuk already calls him a faller, one who falls. But the idea is that person who has merits, when he does good things, he gets merits, and when a person does bad things, then he has obligations, then he has things happen to him. Rashi here explains, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows all the future generations, and all their deeds, and all the punishments are going to happen. When the Torah was given, this guy hadn't fallen yet. The pasuk calls him someone who falls. And the idea is, what's a chayiv? This is literally a reference to what the pasuk is talking about. The pasuk means, why is this person falling? He's falling because this balabayis didn't properly do the mitzvah of makkah, of making a fence. So essentially, the balabayis was a chayiv. So therefore, megalgalin chova al yedei chayiv. That's the idea of the Gemara. Megalgalin zechus al yedei zakai v'chova al yedei chayiv. The Gemara now continues at the two dots. Taner Rabbanan. We learned in a brisa. Misha cholav and not alamas. If somebody's sick and he's going to die, omrim lo hisvada. We tell him he should confess his sins. Sheken kol hamumasin misvad. And all those who are going to die, they confess their sins. Adam yotzei lashuk. Now, if a person's going out to the marketplace, he should view that situation kamisha nimser lasardiot, as if he's been given over to the government, to the sardiot, to the head of the government, the person who was in charge of doling out the punishments. Chosh berosho, if a person's got his head is hurting, yehedome ve'enav, he should consider it kamisha nasnu b'kol, like they put him in chains. All if he's in bed because of his sickness, v'nofel, and he's fallen. In such a situation, yehedome ve'enav kimo shelu lagardom, he should consider it as if he was given over to the Gardom. Again, the idea is the Gardom is actually the worst of all the situations here. Let's see a few of the Rashis. Rashi says, Doma Kemosha Nimsar Lasardiot. What's a Sardiot? Laholicho Lefnei Shofet. That's when you go in front of the judge. That should be considered like going in front of the judge. Actually, back up one Rashi. Rashi says, what's so bad about the marketplace? Lashuk. Mitsuyim Sham Merivos Ubalidinim Nachrim Yisrael. There's a lot of fighting over there. There's a lot of court cases. Non-Jews, Jews getting together. That's why he should be afraid. Chosh Barosho. Then the Gemara said, if his head hurts, Chshasha B'Yalma, it just hurts a little. Mechosh Kal. A small headache. Nasnu bekolar have it famishinim lasardio. That's a little worse than just being given over to the judge. Vigarua meola lagardom, but not as bad as the gardom. Shein don and shamelo lahariga. The gardom judges people for the death penalty. Val sirchan chomer v'tzarch praklit and gadom. There you need real people to defend you, to save you. If he's very sick, then already that's the worst situation. That's considered like you're going over to the Gardo. The Gemara now says, continuing in that line of thought, again, let's just see here. Allah lamita v'nofel yehedom bein of kamosha elu lagardom lidon, as if he's going to the gardom to be judged. Shekola ola lagardom lidon. Anybody's going to the gardom to be judged. Im yeshlo praklitin gedol. If he's got great lawyers, nitzel, then he'll be saved. V'imla, but if not, eno nitzel. If he doesn't have great people to defend him, he won't be saved. V'elohein praklitin shaladim. And what is the defense of a person? What are the best praklitin of a person? Teshuvo ma'asim tovim. His teshuva and ma'asim tovim, they come to defend him. Now the Gemara gives a little bit of the good news. Even if a person has 999 people who are advocating to prosecute him, and he only has one person or one being to defend him, nitzel, he will be saved. Like it says, one malach out of 1,000. One malach out of 1,000 who tells of the justice of this person, then there's going to be mercy and he'll be redeemed. Gemara now continues at the two dots. Rabbi Eliezer benoshel Rabbi Yossi Aglili Omer. Rabbi Eliezer, the son of Rabbi Yossi Aglili, says, "Afilu teisha meos v'tisha ba'oso malach lachov of echad l'schos." Even if that one defender has 999 negative things to say and one thing that's meritorious, nitzel, even in that situation he'll be saved. Shenamar, like it says, meilitz echad mineof. It means one of 1,000 within the one meilitz. Gemara now continues at the two dots. Taner Rabbanan, we learned in a brisa al sholosh averus nashem mesos yoldos. So this goes like what our Mishnah said. There are 3 averus, the same 3 averus we had in the Mishnah, nidachala and hadlakas haner. So women die when they're giving birth. Here's another opinion though. Rabbi Lazar says, nashem mesos yaldos. It's not that they die when they're giving birth, it's that they die when they're young, prematurely. Rabbi Acha says, "Ba'avon shemechabsos soas b'neim b'Shabbos." A different sin causes this. It's the sin of when they wash the garments that are dirty of their children on Shabbos. And some say al shakorin la'aron hakodesh arna. They call the aron hakodesh arna. Arna was what was called to regular aronos, not the aron hakodesh, but they treat this in a way that's mundane, and that was the sin that causes the death. Gemara continues at the two dots. Tanya will end in a brisa. Rabbi Shmuel ben Elazar Omer. Rabbi Shmuel ben Elazar says, "Ba'avon shnei devorim ame ha'aratzos mesim." There are 2 sins that the Amaratzim do and they die because of them. Al Shakorin la'aron hakodesh arna. Number 1, they call the aron hakodesh arna. Al Shakorin lebeis hakneses beis am. They also call the beis hakneses, the shul, they call it the beis am. That also, Rashi says, it's a lashon bizoy. It's just like, oh, this is a place where everybody gathers. That's also an inappropriate thing to say. Tanya will end in a brisa. Rabbi Yossi Omer. Rabbi Yossi says, Shlosha bidkei misa nivru be'isha. There are 3 bidkei misa that were created in a woman. Again, the same 3 things that our Mishnah talked about, but they're called bidkei misa. We'll see in Rashi what that means. Ve'amri la shlosha divkei misa. Some people say it's 3 divkei misa, and Rashi will explain that as well. And what are they? Nida v'chala v'hadlakas haner. Nida chala and hadlakas haner. Rashi here explains. So what's bidkei? Bidkei, Rashi says, avonos shebodkin osan bohen b'shas hasakana kerabanan de amri yoldas. This follows the opinion of the Rabbanan who say that they die when they give birth. The idea is it's bodek them, it checks them in times of danger. If they do these sins, these sins will pop up when they're in situations of danger, like when they're giving birth. And the other opinion was divkei. What does that mean? Shemedavkin umekarvin misa lifnei zman. It brings their death closer. They die early That's Rebbe Lazar, the Tani Yaldus. That follows the opinion of Rebbe Lazar that learns it not as a Yoldos, but as a Yaldus when they are young. And the Gemara here explains that Chodek Rebbe Lazar, V'chodek Rabbanan. One opinion follows Rebbe Lazar, and one opinion follows the Rabbanan. Gemara now has a Brisa Tanya. We learned in a Brisa Rav Shimon ben Gamliel Omer. Rav Shimon ben Gamliel says, Hilchas Hektish Trumas Umaisros. The halachas of Hektish, Trumas, and Maisros. Hein Gufei Torah. These are the essential elements of Torah, and we'll continue with this Brisa on Daf Lamed Beis Amud Beis in the next video.